What up, guys? Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast. This is Abe, your host. It is April 30th, 2025. Just got finished eating, just chilling before work. Yesterday, I took my buddy home. His mom and his dad were having birthday celebrations. It's both of their birthdays, which is interesting that their birthdays are so close to each other. I asked him, I said, this was actually kind of funny. I said, so are they the same astrological sign? He said, I don't know. I don't believe in that stuff. I said, well, I don't believe in fucking Jesus, but I still know who Jesus is. He's just like, touche, you know? So, as far as the update, life's just been pretty simple. Just worked last night. I'm working tonight. Just finished eating some KFC. By the way, we're going to do an episode on the whole KFC commercial, a deep dive on the occult meanings of it. I was talking with some of my friends about it, and I seen it the other day, and that commercial is occult as fuck. And I'm an occultist. There's a lot of symbolism with eggs and possibly some Abraxas references, and I want to do a deep dive on it, the actual occult symbolism within the video. Because there's a lot of content creators who are like, and I'm not trying to bash, but like Christian content creators who are in the conspiracy community, but they don't really have a grasp on the occult meanings of things. And as someone who's studied it for like years, since I was 16, I've been in the craft. It's good to have like an actual occult deep dive on it. So we're gonna do that. But yeah, I've just been chilling, playing some video games, playing Link's Awakening, my favorite fucking Zelda. Dude, my wife bought it for me yesterday. I'm already on I already beat Dungeon 3 this morning, and there's 8 dungeons. Like, I'm in heaven, I ain't gonna lie. I keep thanking her for it, you know. I probably sound like a broken record, but it's literally like, it was like $44, and I've been saving up to get this game. And she's the breadwinner. She's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna buy it for him. Hey, I'm like in heaven right now playing it. I've been glued to it. And I'm gonna do a review on it. I got a couple video game reviews I'm gonna do. But I've been more into making conspiracy podcasts here lately rather than gaming ones. Which I'm sure, if that's what brought you to this channel, you guys probably appreciate it. But yeah, let's get on with the show. We're going to do kind of like conspiracy potluck, because there's a bunch of conspiracies that I've been writing down that I want to talk about, but they're smaller ones. They don't take up a whole episode, so I'm like, fuck it, I'm just going to kind of do like a compilation. So the first one, David Copperfield. Famous magician. This is kind of like, well, this is a newer conspiracy of what's going on. I remember the classic days of conspiracy when YouTube was like awesome. Which honestly, knock on wood, I have really not had that much trouble with YouTube. Not like I used to, dude. And as weird as it sounds, when I was self-censoring and using code words and shit, I was actually getting strikes like every other fucking day. Like once a week I was getting strikes. Had to create a backup channel. But when I finally gave up and just started saying whatever the fuck I wanted to, like dropping F-bombs and and F-bomb as in like faggot, you know, and just stop censoring. Like if I wanted to talk about a vaccine, I'd just say vaccine. Like I actually stopped getting strikes, and I was so fucking confused. I'm like, I think honestly, dude, that when we were self-censoring and using code words and shit, it was actually triggering the AI. And like it knew there was like shadiness going on. Now, I mean, you could go like one step more conspiratorial and say that those bigger channels that still are self-censoring, that they're getting people, smaller channels, to do it so the truth can't get out. I don't know, maybe, because maybe the AI can pick up on the tone of your voice, like deceptiveness and stuff. I don't know. I just found it interesting that when I stopped self-censoring, I stopped getting many strikes and shit. Like yesterday, I put out a video, a podcast on Virginia Goo Free. Go check it out. I didn't even censor the title. Like normally I would censor the title with like an @ symbol or like numbers to throw off the algorithm, and I was just like, Virginia Goo Free, suicide or murder. I was like, fuck it, it's gonna get taken down in 2 seconds. You know, it's still up, knock on wood, you know. I don't know, man. I think the self-censorship shit like fucking hurt us a lot. Sorry I went on that little rant, but David Copperfield, I remember in the classic days of YouTube, like when YouTube was just full of fucking conspiracy channels and shit, like our heyday, the Wild West of YouTube. There was like this like trend of like a lot of these content creators making videos on like David Copperfield, Chris Angel, who's that Yuri guy, the spoon guy that Alakazam was based off of? That dude. Yeah, it was like this trend of like, because there's trends definitely even within the conspiracy community. Like right now, I'd say one that I've noticed is black commentary channels to conspiracy TikToks. I don't know why. There's a shit ton of black people who have woke up to conspiracy, and they're all doing like TikTok commentary channels on conspiracy TikToks, which, hey, I'm cool with it. You know, I'm not racist or anything. I think it's cool. I do get a little jealous because I don't know if it's because they're black or because it's commentary and they're technically not saying what the videos are saying, but like they be talking some crazy shit like about vaccines and just like red flag shit, and none of them get strikes. I'm like, what the fuck? But I get a strike, you know. I'm fucking on YouTube's hit list usually. I've noticed that trend. I've noticed the trend of like everyone's a tranny. That one cracks me up. Like everyone, if you're Hollywood in any form, like you're a tranny, you're the opposite sex. I don't see what the purpose of that is. Like why it's why does it matter? And people are like, oh, in the comment section, people are like, oh, thanks for putting out this info. You put out such great info. I'm like, what info? Even if they are a chick, why does that fucking matter? Like, what are we doing here? Like, so transphobia and homophobia is okay in the community now? Gotcha. Cool. But there used to be this trend of like every magician sold their soul to the devil. Like David Copperfield was one. What's his name? The gothic guy, the emo guy. Chris Angel. That one always cracked me up because, like, I don't know, I grew up in kind of like, I was a punk, you know, still am. You know, I kind of delved into the goth movement, like, as far as like clothing and stuff, and like, I don't know, being like an older punk, it's like when I look back at like Chris Angel, like to me, I just go like, that's cringy, you know, like he dresses like he's like 14 and he's like 30 years old. And I don't know, all these channels are like, look at how he wears eyeliner, look, he's so gothic, like he's a Satanist, and it's so, I don't know, it's just funny looking back at these older conspiracy channels that were like saying that every magician sold their soul. And like, it's funny too, because like my brother-in-law is a magician. Like, he can literally watch a magician, and he's like amazing at it. And just like pick apart, like, and tell you how they're faking shit. He could tell you the tricks of the trade, you know. And like, with Chris Angel, there's been so many fucking like magicians debunk his stuff, because like he'll literally make cuts and stuff, and they're just like, yeah, they just cut the film and he just got out of there. That's how he disappeared, you know. He's not even really doing magic. It's insane. But David Copperfield here lately, for some reason I want to say he's retiring and this is like his last biggest fucking magic trick, because he's probably old as fuck. I remember in the 90s being a little kid and hearing my parents talk about David Copperfield. But this is crazy. So his last big fucking trick that he's doing, and this is older news, so it might have already passed and happened. He's going to make the moon disappear. And apparently here lately he's been practicing on making the moon disappear. Now normally I'd be like, okay, cool, whatever, like I'm not gonna report on this shit, you know. But there has been like a shit ton of people making TikTok videos of the moon has disappeared. Now there's been a lot of, in general, like the moon being in the wrong spot here lately and shit, which you guys know my opinion. NASA and mainstream scientism is what I like to call it. I don't believe any of that fucking shit. I would say I actually do believe in like astronomy and shit, because I mean, I grew up, me and my buddy Andy Pittman growing up and stuff, we'd, you know, look through the telescope for hours and shit. Like, anyone can buy a telescope and you can be an amateur astronomer, you know. So I do believe in the concept of astronomy, but like, as far as like when NASA has anything to say, or any of our space programs, I don't believe in SpaceX. I believe their shit's fake too. I just don't, I don't even take it with a grain of salt. Like, I don't know. And it blows my mind how many like conspiracy and truther channels are out there who still talk about NASA and still use NASA as examples. Well, NASA's saying this, NASA's saying this, and it's like, dude, anytime you hear those 4 letters, like, it's bullshit, you know? But there is apps you can buy on your phone, and my wife has one, and they will show you like where certain constellations are supposed to be. Like, let's say you're looking for a specific constellation like Orion's Belt, but you have no clue where it is in the sky, because sadly all the ancients knew that shit. And phone's overheating, it's hot here in Kentucky. All the ancients knew that shit, but we have literally stopped teaching basic astronomy in general, which is sad. So we have apps now that you can literally look and see where certain constellations are supposed to be. And these apps are saying like, hey, the moon's supposed to be right there, but it'll be on like the totally opposite end of the sky. So like, go look these videos up. I don't know what you would type in, just like type in moon and you'll see weird shit. And the moon's either showing up in wrong spots or it's totally gone when it should be out. And the conspiracy is that David Copperfield sold his soul to the devil and he can make the moon disappear. Now, I'm not saying I believe that. I'm just reporting on this. It's entertaining. I report on crazy, entertaining conspiracies, you know. Let me see if I put it down here, if it'll help at all. That's literally my job, you know. I don't know. I honestly, dude, I'm very agnostic when it comes to the shape of the earth. Like, I've already told you guys, I'm a geocentrist, meaning, like, I do believe that we are stationary and everything revolves around us. I don't believe in the Big Bang. I don't believe that we're traveling through space, spinning around. Now, I pay attention to flat earth. I'm open to the idea of a flat earth. But I'm not a flat earther. I have a theory, and I've said it before, that I think the earth could be bigger than what they're telling us, and we could be in one little quarantined little section. That there is more land out there, but it would appear flat because we're so big. If the earth is like 10 times, 50 times bigger than what they're saying it is. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think David Copperfield is making the moon disappear? It is strange how he said he was going to do this, and he's been practicing, and he's able to make the moon disappear, and people are noticing that the moon is disappearing and filming it. So let me know what you guys think. We'll get on with the next subject. So like I said, today's going to be kind of a compilation of just random conspiracies that I've been collecting in my notebook, my handy dandy notebook. This one's a Disney one, which Disney has always been full of conspiracies. I need to do, like, honestly, like 2 or 3, maybe 4, maybe like a whole series on Disney, because there is so much conspiracy around Disney that I could probably make an entire series on Disney. But this one's kind of fun. So there was a TikTok video, and listen to this. This is crazy. Tarzan is in the same reality as Beauty and the Beast, and Jane is the ancestor, offspring of Belle. So, in the movie Tarzan, Jane is wearing the same yellow dress that Belle wore when she was living with the Beast, and basically he gave her that dress and stuff for when they danced and stuff. I can't remember the whole story, like, please forgive me. I was a Disney kid. I grew up on that movie. I watched the fuck out of that movie. By the way, how weird is it that we let our children watch a movie that is literally, like, pro-bestiality? Speaking of Beauty and the Beast, isn't it crazy that everyone freaked out that they made one of the characters gay on the live action, but no one pointed out that the whole movie's literally about bestiality? Just saying, like, hey Christians, hey conservatives, get your priorities straight. I'd rather see someone gay than fucking a dog. Just saying. So Beauty and the Beast was, like, basically based in, like, the 1700s in France. And, well, it was based in, like, France, like, way back in the day. But during the 1700s, this is how the theory goes, is that there was a gigantic movement of French to England. So Jane would be an English citizen with an English accent. They're both brunettes. They're both white. So they could be the same offspring. Jane could be French by blood. This one was a connection that really, I mean, it's not really evidence, but, like, they, both women, Jane and Belle, both have, like, a lust. Wow, okay. Both have a lust for, like, the wild man archetype, which there is, like, a whole conspiracy behind the wild man archetype, that there's all these 1800s and like there's been accounts since like medieval times of like wild men who lived in the woods that a lot of people theorize that could be it's connected with Sasquatch and all that jazz. Maybe we'll do a whole episode dedicated to like wild men stories. Kind of ties in with the feral people shit. But both women are attracted to like wild men. Like one's attracted to a beast, the other one's attracted to, you know, like a caveman. The fathers both have similarities as far as like mustaches and stuff. The dad of Belle literally looks like a fat version of the dad of Jane. Like they look super similar. So they're saying that's why they could be like, you know, along the same bloodline. And there's an Easter egg, basically that there's a scene where Jane pulls out, they're at their camp and they're having tea time because they're English, not by blood. By blood they would be French according to this conspiracy. But it's the exact same tea set from Beauty and the Beast. So I don't know how this would tie in, because in the movie Beauty and the Beast, like, they were turned into like the candelabra, the clock, the tea set, but they were turned back to human. Now, the only way this theory could work is that tea set, that when they turned back to human, that the objects that they were maybe went back to normal. So maybe those objects were already there when the curse was put on the beast in the castle. So whatever objects were laying around the house is what the servants got turned into. And then when they got turned back, maybe those objects were turned to their normal status, like normal whatever. Like, that's the only way this theory could work, is that whenever they got turned back to human, like, the objects went back to normal too. So they kind of like separated. I don't know. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was a fun conspiracy, and there's a lot of fucking Easter eggs and little hints and little clues that make me go, maybe. So give me just a second. So this one kind of ties in with, honestly, basically like we are in a matrix, like simulation theory. So the CIA, through FOIA, and I'm not sure, there's a law, I forget what it's called, of basically every so many years the CIA has to like declassify a certain amount of documents. And this recently happened with some documents. I'm gonna have to do like a deep dive on the actual documents like I have with other CIA documents. So the CIA has already stated like multiple times that they believe like we're in a simulation. Mainstream science is saying that we're in a simulation. At first I was very skeptical. Anytime like Neil deGrasse Tyson or the CIA are saying we're in a simulation, punch buggy, no punch back. I told y'all we'd start playing. I get really skeptical and really nervous of like, oh, this is a psyop. But throughout the years, man, I mean, hell, the other day I literally recorded a bird stuck in the sky, and it got like 0 views. Go check that out in my shorts. Like, I put out amazing shit sometimes. I've put out like the noises in the sky. I've put out a video of 2 fucking suns, a bird stuck in the sky, and like no one cares. They're just like, nah, I don't care. And like, I tell people about this and they're like, where can I find it? Go to the channel, click. You can literally, there's a search bar at the top of the channel. You can search any fucking video. Like, I've recorded orbs, I've recorded all sorts of crazy shit on this channel, and no one gives a fuck. But anyways, so like, like the other day when I seen the bird just stuck there in the sky, just watching it for like a whole minute. I wish I'd pulled out my phone quicker, but I was on the phone with my wife. I literally was like struggling to hang up with her, like, please let me record this. There's a bird just stuck in the sky. But that was the second time I've seen that shit. And it's in this same area. I've seen it happen like twice now, of birds just getting stuck in the sky. That makes me literally go, I think we're in a fucking simulation. Which means, like, if we are in a simulation, first of all, we're creating simulations. Like the Matrix was created the other day with a brain. We've talked about it on this channel a couple times, of how they literally they created a brain from like just a little bit of matter and grew it and like hooked it up to the video game Pong, and it now exists in the game Pong. Like, we have literally created the Matrix. So if we've already created the Matrix, what makes you think, and Cognify, go check out that episode on Cognify, what makes you think that we're not already in the Matrix? Like, and that doesn't mean that it destroys religion. It just means that God is a computer maker, and literally God is probably a dude in a white lab coat, and we're ones and zeros. But the Matrix has literally figured out hacks. So listen to this shit. This ties in exactly with fucking simulation theory, the movie Matrix, when you dial certain numbers at phone booths to get beamed up, Scotty, you know. They figured out a hack to remember shit that you forgot. Everyone has struggled with this. I know I have. I've done a lot of drugs. I forget a lot of shit. And you literally hold your hand to your third eye like this and say 55515, and you can like remember shit. But they said this code too, like it helps with like pain. Like this is the memory one where you literally say like 55515, you know, and it'll help you remember whatever you forgot. But like there's another one with pain, and I'm not sure. I wrote down just one of them. This might be the pain one. We'll have to do a deeper dive and actually go into these fucking documents, but I did at least want to get this info out there. Where you focus on the spot that hurts. Like if you're having knee problems, you focus on the spot that hurts in your mind, and you like pretty much like a mantra, say 55515, 55515, 55515, and it'll like go away. Fucking insane, dude. And it makes me honestly, I know it's CIA. I don't trust the CIA. I don't trust the CIA, but the older I've gotten and the more research I've done, I lean more and more and more towards simulation theory, like every day. Like, I don't know. And honestly, I think of my life kind of like a video game a lot. Probably because I grew up a gamer and I'm still a gamer. Like, me and my brother, my oldest brother, we talk about it sometimes. Like, life is kind of like a video game. Like, I feel like it's Grand Theft Auto every time I leave the house. Like, I'm in this avatar and I'm avoiding getting stars. Because I'm a maniac. You know, it's kind of like an RPG. Like, I have a health meter, a hunger meter, a cigarette meter. Got to take my medication at this time. Like, I feel like it's like an RPG. And like, you know, when you work more, you gain more money. So your rupees go up. Like, I got a garage, a vehicle. So it's kind of like GTA. I don't know, dude. I feel like it's a simulation a lot, dude. I feel like when I wake up in the morning, it feels like I'm in a video game. Like, press start, load your file, you know? Like, and when you're not playing the game, you're asleep. You know, we go to sleep. Why do we have to sleep, by the way? Like, doesn't that feel like a simulation right there? Of like, okay, you ran your game enough today. Like, we have to make you go to sleep. You could save your file. You know, we'll save it for tomorrow. But let me know what you guys think about this little conspiracy trifecta of just random little conspiracies. I hope y'all enjoyed. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'm trying to get up to 500 subs. And let me know, do you think David Copperfield sold his soul and he can make the moon disappear? Do you think that Jane from Tarzan is the offspring of Belle from Beauty and the Beast? And can you trust the CIA? And can we hack the Matrix? I love y'all. Catch y'all later.